So Dead Rock Chapter 7 officially released today, and I gotta say, really good chapter. It was mostly exposition and setup for this new story arc at the moment. How long this will be, I have no clue. But all I gotta say is I'm pretty excited. I'm happy with how things are going so far. We're not going too quick, and the pacing seems to be relatively slowed down to build up the characters and the world that we're getting. So that's always a plus. We also learned the identity of the mysterious girl that's been appearing in front of Yakuto the last couple of chapters and offering him some sort of information on how to take down God. And in the last chapter we got Yakuto's tragic backstory on how this imposter seemingly destroyed his entire clan and even killed his parents, thus making him the last survivor of the Black Dragons. So I shared this with his classmates, and now we're getting into how the aftermath of this explanation goes over with the rest of Class F, and whether they'll help him or not. But before we get into this actual chapter, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really helps and shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and you want to see more. I'm going to try and make more Dead Rock content in between chapters since this is monthly. That way you guys get something from me every few weeks. So I'm going to try and make something that you guys will enjoy. And I got other stuff planned, so look forward to that. But with that out of the way, let's get right into the chapter. So chapter 7 of Dead Rock, titled Curse Velocity, starts off with us cutting back to the class after Yakuto's backstory, with Hani literally just bawling his eyes out overhearing his story, and the rest of his class, save for Hein, kind of shocked at the revelations that he's given them. Hani, still bawling, just goes up to Yakuto and just says he'll help him out no matter what, and Frey, as before, stated that she is going to help out Yakuto. He's happy for this, but Ryzen just says, look, sorry, but I ain't interested. Do whatever the hell you want. And Mikoto even says that for now she is not going to give her approval to join yet either. And there's like a little mini interaction that she says, forget about Ryzen, what about you? As she just says, there's no real proof that what Yakuto is saying is true. And to that is actually true. Because despite us getting his backstory from his perspective, certain pieces of information might not even be true, like whether or not the god that Yakuto wants to take down is a fake or an imposter or something, or maybe Yakuto is a unreliable narrator, and thus we are not getting the full grasp or story, or maybe there's some missing pieces of information that we might get revealed later on, thus adding an extra layer of mystery to the story. Or it could just be reading too much into things, and this is just a surface level thing. Now Frey asks Hein what he's gonna do, but he takes a second and just says if he's planning to kill God, then he'll stay by God's side, with a very stern, serious look, as Yakuto looks at him seriously, as this is basically Hein's line in the sand. He tells Yakuto that, as he said, he wants to graduate from the school, and there's no way that Yakuto can win against God, as we see their new homeroom teacher just standing outside their classroom staring at them. Now I saw some posts online after this chapter released that perhaps this new teacher might secretly be an ally or be turned over to their side. Honestly, it'd be nice if they have like some sort of mentor type figure for this series that'll give them a hand, maybe make some grand sacrifice in a future battle. Honestly, got no clue. I just find it kind of idealistic, but you never know, in a school where anybody can kill anybody and destroy each other for no freaking reason just because they don't like each other. Yeah, alliances will happen. It could be teachers with students. It doesn't matter, and it would make something very interesting. But we cut shortly afterwards to the actual library that Yakuto is supposed to meet this mysterious girl, and it's called Curse Velocity. Frey mentions that Mikoto stated that this was supposed to be some sort of gigantic labyrinth, and as Yakuto opens the door, he begins to say that there should be some sort of book there that tells them God's weakness. And when he opens the door, we see the Dead Rock Library, Curse Velocity, in its full glory. And I gotta say, Mashima's really killing it with a lot of these like set designs for these 2-page spreads. Last time it was the Death Arena, Dead Rock School, and now this library. It looks very detailed, and it feels like he really went all in and just trying to give it a sense of feel for how this would look like. And I like how everyone's kind of impressed at the size of this library, as then the mysterious cat girl shows up saying that she's been waiting for Yakuto. And so they begin to ask who she is, and she ends up introducing herself as Celicia, whose roots are the Black Wizard. Okay, so here's the thing. Fairy tale fans, we know who the Black Wizard is, right? It's Zeref. And Yakuto is a black dragon, Acnologia, big fairy tale references and parallels. I feel like this will help a bunch of theories stating that this is like a sequel to Fairy Tail or connected to it in some way, shape, or form. I just find it funny, and this will make great clickbait for me to just say this is Zeref's daughter. That is actually a good idea. I might just do that just for clickbait reasons because it just sounds so much fun. Or maybe it'll be a fun TikTok. Either way, very fun. Anyway, she gives us her real name, which is Celicia with the Black Wizard root. And as Frey and Yakuto are being like, "You're rather coarse, Black Wizard," as Hani's like, "Are you guys stupid?" as he looks over at her and says, "This is the bird, right? Look, she's even got the same exact scarf." Meaning that this is Chaco. And look, looking back, this is fairly obvious due to the fact that Chaco's never in the same room as anybody else, especially whenever this girl is around. And people have been theorizing this for a while now, ever since her first appearance in like chapter 2. It is fairly obvious, but I'm kind of glad that this is the case. Leaves us with our main core cast from the start of it. And turns out she was actually faking being a Yatagarasu root for reasons which we'll get into. Yeah, Frey and Yakuto are kind of, shocked at this, and Celicia just says, "I'm not a bird, I'm a black wizard." And I like how Hani's just trying to troll her by saying, "Grow your third foot," as she literally just grows a bird claw on the top of her head, as everyone just starts to laugh, and she gets embarrassed. As everyone's just like, "So why did you turn into a human now?" As she just says, "This is how I actually look." And apparently her magic is too strong, so she usually turns into a bird to suppress her power. So, like Yakuto, in a different way, she suppresses her power to kind of hide, and primarily because she has a lot of power. So that is an interesting way to go about things. And Frey then says, "What should we call you, Celicia or Chaco? What do you want us to call you?" And she just says, either one works, and Hana just goes like, "I'm just going to start calling you Bird again." That's just a funny nickname. Their dynamic is going to be pretty funny, I can tell, from this point forward. I'm looking forward to seeing this now that the cat's out of the bag and she's revealed her true form. She might turn back into the bird just when they're in class together to keep it hidden from everyone else, perhaps. But as they're talking, a new group of people show up. As they begin to tell them not to talk so loud in the library, as this guy then shows up like a lion with a pompadour or something, starts to say specific words, as this kind of like silences the main group as they're like, "What's the heck is this guy saying?" One guy says that it's a great poem, but the lion gets angry and says their lyrics, as he then punches the guy into the ground, fully exploding his head. Once again, I keep getting surprised for some reason that in Dead Rock, anybody can kill anybody just for not liking them or pissing someone off. It can be funny, and I think this was actually a pretty funny moment, but also kind of dark, considering this was in this guy's entourage, quote-unquote a friend, and because he got something wrong, he killed him. Literally bashed his skull in. But yeah, he fixes his hair and introduces himself as Cougar, and his roots are the Red Lion. And apparently, he is essentially the boss of the school. He is like one of the strongest people at the school. Mainly the strongest student. So that is an interesting way to go about things. Now, since we're introducing someone who's supposed to be the strongest in the school, and is a third year who is 2 years higher than the rest of the main cast, it actually introduces some interesting problems, and perhaps he might actually be strong. And now, Yakuto is nerfed to only using his power in his right arm. So this will make fights a lot more interesting, and I think this arc is going to focus more on giving Celicia her time to shine to show what she can do with her unsuppressed power. And give Hani some more action scenes, because I want to see this guy actually throw his lightning hammer more and beat some people to death with it. Anyway, Cougar then says another piece of lyrics, as Frey just says, "That's some confidence. You want to fight?" As Cougar then blushes and just fawns over Frey. And before she can properly process what the heck is going on, she's then surrounded by confetti by this jack-o'-lantern head looking guy, and she is then wrapped up and instantly, in a second, turned into a cookie. As this guy is revealed to be Jack, who is the jack-o'-lantern roots. So, anyone else be reminded of like the C-tier supervillain Jack-o'-lantern from Marvel Comics? I've been recently rereading the Agent Venom run, and I remember that this character was like Flash Thompson's main antagonist for a good chunk of the book. Anyone? No? Just me? I like Agent Venom. Anyway, moving on. Frey got turned into a cookie. Honestly, I'm just disappointed because after the last arc where she basically had a bunch of emotional trauma and was determined on helping Yakuto, I would have liked to see her actually use her fire to burn some people. Is it so much to ask to have the character with fire powers incinerate a bunch of fodder. But I feel like this is a way just to get her out of the story, as she is relatively strong. It just gives Celicia more of a chance to actually show what she's capable of. But yeah, it shocks everybody. She's turned into candy, and now Cougar has taken her away, as this pisses off Yakuto, and I like the pencil sketch marks as he just says to give her back. Very showing that the man is pissed off, and he is ready to bust some heads. It is then a giant, horrific eyeball is shown at the top of the ceiling as it says quiet in the library, which shocks everybody as all the bookshelves begin to shift and change around. As everyone's wondering what's going on, it's revealed that when you're too loud in the library, it angers the library guardian. And so everything shifts around, changing it into a giant maze. So Cougar and his group begin to try and get out of there before they're trapped inside. As then everything continues to shift, we see multiple corridors and walls shift and change. As the second to last pages is Krueger looking menacingly at Yakuto while the walls close around them, separating them. With us now seeing a full giant labyrinth of the library with multiple floors, multiple layers and walls, and it looks amazing. Topped off with the library guardian's eye looking down at the entire maze, giving you a real sense of dread and scale. And I'm honestly really excited about this. But as we're trying to process this situation, we then cut back to Class F, which is just Hein, Ryzen, and Koto. As Ryzen's like, I never thought you'd choose not to help Yakuto. But he says, oh, I think that's the logical decision. That is actually a logical decision. You could just go with emotion, but she's probably just think how things will play out in the future and how she'll be able to figure things out and whether or not to join him. But anyway, Ryzen says, no interest in teaming up with that piece of trash, huh? But Mikoto's just like, I wouldn't exactly say that. But Ryzen then brings up, did you know someone went missing during the entrance exam? As Mikoto says, yes, everyone's talking about it. Sounds like they still haven't found him yet. I wonder if Bebel, the Hecatoncheir, is still underground, with the final page showcasing what is essentially the character from Chapter 1 who was stated to have gone missing in a hood underneath Dead Rock, still where the entrance exam was, ending the chapter. So like I said, setup, we got an antagonist group that we're going to have to face. We have Celicia, the Black Wizard, essentially. Nice Zeref reference again. Teaming up with the main group, Frey got taken captive, and the rest of Class F are kind of sitting this arc out. I feel like with more information, they might help them out with this labyrinth. And with Bebel introduced, I feel like he'll either be an antagonist, a rival character with Yakuto, or perhaps a potential ally in the future. Still up in the air on that, but I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen next. But the two things I'm very excited about right now are Celicia, her abilities, and how she's going to be utilized in this arc, in the future portion of the story, and how this arc is going to pan out with this Labyrinth library. I feel like there's a lot of fun that we can have with this, and I feel like Mashima knows that there's going to be some interesting ideas to be put into it. I just hope that this isn't too long, but not too short, so we can fully explore this and then confront this enemy group, and maybe see how strong Yakuto is with that's a tenth of his power. But yeah, I enjoyed this chapter. I'm glad we finally got Zelicia's name and revealed that it actually was Chaco, one of the main characters all along. I am disappointed we're not getting any Yatagarasu type stuff, but I am glad that it's a Black Wizard, and it just actually finds it kind of funny that we have a character who uses fire, who is an obvious parallel to Natsu from Fairy Tail. Yakuto, the main character, was an obvious parallel / reference to Akta Logia, and now Celicia with the Black Wizard stuff. I just find it funny how these three characters who are related towards the end of Fairy Tail have inspired these other characters for Mashima to just play with and just reference with just their roots all in all. I just find it funny, and I just think this could end up adding some more exciting stuff in the future. But what do you guys think of this chapter? How do you feel about Zelicia's reveal, her roots? How do you think her powers are going to work? How do you feel about this whole Labyrinth arc going on? Do you think we're going to see some interesting stuff and some really cool artwork? And how do you feel we're going to encounter Cougar and get Frey back? And what do you feel about Bebel and where his allegiances could potentially lie? Leave your thoughts in the comments section down below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really helps and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and that you want to see more. And with all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.